Fox News' Sandra Smith and Martha McCollum. This is all signaling. I mean, this is why those defectors who need a racial conservatism, which, is a nice way of saying they need a certain healthy dose of racism with their politics.
Right.
That and David Shore may be right about that. That's the only way you're going to get those people back.
So don't get those people.
So you don't get those people back. But this is the way it gets communicated to them. Like the question is like, how does that racial conservatism, how does that factor into a fight about whether people should get universal pre-K or whether they should get elder care or whether they should have dental on their Medicare? How does it get factored in? Through this sort of like proxy fight, which is this. This is clip number 5.
As she took those questions from Peter Doocy live, being given the opportunity to either double down on this is paid for, this is free messaging that the White House is putting out there, or to circle back and say, no, actually, it means that we'll either have to borrow or we'll have to raise taxes to pay for it, but we figured out a way to pay for it. But to continue with this message to the American voter that this is somehow free. or this is just somehow paid for.
You're going to get child care, you're going to get education, you're going to get college education, you're going to get 12 weeks time off from work, paid leave, and it's all free. It's not going to cost you a dime.
And that is when the American people have to watch what's going on here and decide if we are a capitalistic society or we are one of socialism, because that's really what is at stake here: responsibility versus entitlement.
Well, that's where I think what you and Larry were talking about is so interesting, because the idea of means testing, I've been saying, it's not in style anymore. I mean, that's out. Because this is a much more socialist viewpoint, like what you see in the UK or you see in France, where they don't want to designate for certain people who have need to say, you have need and we want to be a safety net for you. This is, we don't want anyone to have, there's no difference. So everyone will get it. Even if you make $800,000 a year, you're going to get an $8,000 cut on your electric car. So means testing is gone.
As Americans, we're compassionate people. We are going to help those that truly have needs and do need. It's those able-bodied.
If you are making $800,000 a year and you decide to send your kid to community college because it's free, I think that's good for society.
Me too.
Yes.
It's like, and if you're a billionaire and you send your kid to community college for free, I think that's great for society. I think that's really good. You're going to get people at community college are going to have access to resources and capital, because their buddy all of a sudden is going to have a lot of cash. And if they're going out to start a business or they need help or they're in a jam or something like that, that's great. I mean, that's the way people, that's how people move through our society. To the extent that there's any mobility, it is because they know people who have resources. And the best thing that could happen to society, in fact, it should be mandated. If you're a billionaire, you need to go to public school. In fact, like that's if you are wealthy, you have to go to public school.
If you want your tax breaks, you actually have to go to public school.
That's I'm forced mandatory public school in favor.
Means test their shit.
Even if it's a retroactive, like 21 Jump Street situation, the billionaires have to go back to school.
The means testing thing, too, I think is like, I feel like that is losing its salience a little bit, because really, at the end of the day, the Republicans aren't worried about wealthy people getting free benefits. They are worried about people who need the benefits getting the benefits. And that's why it's getting like supplanted with these job requirements, because the implication is there is like, we're not going to help the loafers. Like the means testing, I think, just doesn't have the traction it does before, because they're like, well, wait a second. The problem isn't the wealthy people. Wealthy people are okay. If they get a benefit, that's fine. Like, I mean, we'll get our mortgage interest deduction on our $800,000 house. That's fine. But It's the poor people who are getting stuff.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Means testing is supported because it stops people who should be eligible from getting it, but they don't because of hurdles, not because of what you're saying.
Right.
And there are better ways to do that.
And a reminder to any Democrat that's consistently talking about like means testing. I mean, Manchin has been most public about it, but there are a lot of Democrats who think we should means test a bunch.
Hillary Clinton said that we means test community college.
Yeah. I mean, but Biden too has a lot of means testing in his DNA as well. Look at what you're feeding into and look at the language that you're speaking.
And it's so stupid. We have a mechanism to means test in this country. We don't have to develop the wheel for every single program we have. It's called taxes.
Taxes, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that wealthy people are not getting more benefit out of government relative to what they put into it? Raise their taxes. We have a mechanism there. It is literally like just changing a number. You don't have to hire anybody new, although you should probably hire a couple more IRS agents. But you don't have to build you don't have to create a new system. You don't have to have a new agency. You don't have to do any of that. You raise taxes, period, end of story.
But why make things simple when you could just have a Rube Goldberg machine of a variety of means testings in order to kind of just discipline the poor?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And prevent people from actually accessing this stuff.
And you could also do what Andrew Cuomo does.
Sorry?
You could do what Andrew Cuomo used to do, which is announce the great plan, put it on a website. Oh, by the way, the website doesn't work, so you can't actually take part in that plan.
But the plan is great.
Plan's great. It's there. Yeah, we got it there. You just can't sign up for it because your computer will crash.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.